Morning. So that combine had a thermal event late last night, and well, we're still doing some inspecting on it. Right now, Dad's cleaning it off. I had some trouble finding out what made that happen. It would appear that there's no bearings out. We had an ember in the feeder house drum, inside the drum, and it was just smoldering. If you're not familiar with bean smoke, it just kind of smolders, and it's really hard to get out. We dumped gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons of water into that thing last night. Parked it in the middle of a field and it survived, so I think we got the ember out. Still smells like smoke. If you're wondering what that smells like, it smells like wood smoke. So if you're ever around if you're around a combine and you smell wood smoke, you better start looking for smoke. Death from above. What the hell? Anyways, Dad's gonna blow that thing off. I'm going back here to the house. I'm going to dig in a transformer pad. And then Dad and I are going to run some beans. BJ's dumping some trucks. He's leaving here in a little bit. And with one combine, Dad and I should be able to make a pretty good dent into that 190 acre field. But we will not probably finish it, would be my guess. It's 10 o'clock, still waiting on the dew to burn off. So should be able to get started here soon. There wasn't a frost, but there was a pretty heavy dew. So the last few days I've been working on getting my underground service in. Got it to the transformer pad, waiting on an electrician to put me a meter on the side of the house there. And then we will finish our trench. Gotta move this pile of gravel at some point. Guess we haven't done a house update in a while. We'll go ahead and walk in. So right now the contractors are trimming out windows, door frames, and the like. Been installing our wood burner. That is a wood burning fireplace, not just a gas fireplace. But yeah, getting baseboards. Well, baseboards won't go down to the flooring, but making progress. We got our shower floor in. So with it being just me and Dad, I'm going to be running the grain cart today. Like I said, BJ's going to the Bengals game. He's dumping a truck right now before he leaves. Just the two of us, one combine, three trucks and a grain cart. We'll be doing good to get 100 acres though, and that'll probably run us. If not, I'll go dump a truck. And we will proceed. I got our supplies. Let's go get in the cart. Well, we got about a mile long pass. Now we are cutting these at an angle, pretty aggressive angle. Looks like Dad's going about a 45-degree angle, so it won't be a mile long. You may be wondering why. More even wear on the cutter bar, and they feed easier. That's why we don't go straight. The field is planted this way, straight with that driveway. Well, he's full. Be fun trying to do corn this way. We'll probably have a bi-directional head and split this field a few times when this is corn next year. It's a long field. Let me show you. Nope, wrong one. So this will be my first time really running these LSWs all day. I've had a few people asking questions on what I think of the dubs, and my standard answer has been I just haven't been in them long enough. So at this point I've ran the cart maybe, I don't know, a couple hours the whole course of harvest, and most of that's just been dumping the truck. But what I have noticed from not being in the cab, just like seeing the cart running, here's a perfect example. You can see where the tracks went on the grain cart. Like those are grain cart tracks. You cannot see where these tracks were. And that said, that grain cart's got a lot of weight in the back of it. But what I'm saying is, for compaction purposes, these things seem to do a really, really good job. Now, what I'm really curious about, and I think this is where they're going to struggle, is if we get like into a situation where it's slick on top I don't think these are going to dig down like a pair of duals would. It has not been muddy at all this year, really. I mean, we've had a couple of days where it's been greasy on top, so we haven't had an issue. One thing, we got a farm coming up where we have to go up a really steep bank. Luckily, it's not corn in the bottom this year, but what it is beans, and I have a feeling that this thing will spin out on at loose gravel if we took a very large load of beans up it. So Dad's discovering that my GPS on that header, for whatever reason, hasn't been working too well. Now, if you're not familiar with Gleaner combines, there's an offset, but the offset isn't 30 inches, and I had to nudge it all day yesterday, 30 inches to go straight. A little dusty. The most Dad's ever ran the Gleaner in beans. Uh-oh. It's a big pile of beans. What is that? What did we plug? So I'd say he had the same thing happen to him as I was having last night. Basically, that draper belt starts getting dust and dirt under it, and it will stall it. In my opinion, that draper head just doesn't beat a McDon. I was buying that machine all over again. Probably would have bought a McDon over that. They're not a whole lot of price difference, a little bit, but not too much. I think a McDon would have performed a lot better. Plus, if we'd have bought a new McDon and we did switch brands, it would have worked on it. Right now he's trying to clean up that wad of beans that was on the ground. One thing that sucks about the Crary, it's kind of in the way. We start to slow down. Time changed last night. Well, that's never fun, especially when you got beans. But we don't have much beans left, like I've said last night. If we get done with this field, we'll be down to, I believe, 80 acres of first crop beans. Now we have 400 acres of double crops, but generally we've always tried to prioritize the first crops first because the double crops are just kind of a bonus. But this year, I mean, if we catch the right weather, we'll just go right into those before we finish corn. But usually it just don't work out that way. Usually we just play the rain game. If it rains, we go run corn. If it don't rain, we go run beans. Now we might, depending on the situation, break off and divide and conquer. Dad might go run beans and I might go run corn. So one thing about this grain carton with one combine and beans, it's kind of boring, but using this time to do some boot shopping. So a few weeks back I was talking about work boots like these Thorogoods right here, and a lot of people told me to look into Nicks and JK and Whites. These are handmade boots that are custom fit to you. I am seriously considering buying a pair. They are extremely expensive, so if anyone's got any experience with them, let me know, but I've never been able to find the perfect fitting boot, and if it costs a bunch of money but I get a boot that's made to my foot, I'm willing to do it. So if you've had experience with any of those companies, let me know. Here's another company I've been looking at a lot, Russells. I have not a whole lot of info on them, so if anyone has any experience with those companies, let me know. Well, one thing about this draper head at the moment, you don't have to worry about getting any kind of cramps. Get out and unplug this freaking head every 20 minutes. Not a big fan of that thing at the moment. It's worked fine all year until the last 2 days. We've adjusted it, we've tightened it, we've cleaned it, we've greased it, we've serviced it. I don't know what's going on. Right there, he's just trying to pick up that lump of stuff it puked out. We just unhooked the Crary because the beans are getting tough and the Crary's, it takes a lot of power. But I also think it is blowing debris under the draper belt, that header, but I don't think that's what's causing it to stall, because there ain't a lot of dirt under it at the moment. We're just trying something different. Nothing else, he could definitely use the extra power as the sun starts going down. Well, that's gonna be it. Dad said he's out of fuel. So I guess we're gonna quit. Starting to get, man, I just disappeared on you guys. What in the world? Come on, camera. We're entirely too much money for this camera to do that. Anyways, I guess that's gonna be it. Dad said he's flashing low on fuel, starting to get pretty tough. So he's gonna hang her up for the night, and we will come back here tomorrow. We got We're well over half done. We have a big day tomorrow to finish, but it's finishable. So that will be the goal.